Prince of Wales, to Wysog Cymru, the country whose title I've been so greatly privileged to bear.
Imagine being handed a box of diamonds worth more than most people will earn in 1,000 lifetimes. Now imagine that box doesn't just contain jewels, it contains history, heartbreak, and a silent battle for power. That's exactly what happened inside Buckingham Palace in late 2022. King Charles had just become monarch. His mother, Queen Elizabeth II, had passed away in September of that year. The world was watching. The royal family was grieving. But behind closed doors, something else was happening. Something that would send shockwaves through every palace corridor. Charles made a decision. And it wasn't about politics or policy. It was about jewelry. He ordered the Prince of Wales' feathers brooch, a piece valued not just in pounds but in legacy, to be transferred from Queen Camilla's personal collection to Catherine, the Princess of Wales. Now, let's be clear. This wasn't just a casual gift between family members. In the royal world, jewelry is currency. It is status. It is the loudest whisper in the room. The brooch itself is breathtaking. Diamonds arranged in the shape of 3 ostrich feathers, rising from a coronet, the official badge of the Prince of Wales. It is a piece that has been worn by some of the most famous women in British history. But its journey to Catherine's jewelry box is anything but simple. The Queen Mother gave it to Princess Diana on her wedding day in 1981. Imagine the scene. A young Diana, nervous but radiant, receiving this glittering symbol of her new life. She wore it with pride, but also with pain. She famously transformed it into a necklace, adding an emerald drop pendant that became her signature. That was Diana's way of making the crown's jewels her own. After Diana's tragic death in 1997, the brooch returned to the royal collection. It sat in the vaults for years, collecting dust and memories. Then, it reappeared on Camilla. She wore it often, always with that same emerald pendant attached. Some saw it as a tribute to Diana. Others saw it as erasure. A way of overwriting the past with a new narrative. But now, Charles has changed the story again. He's given the brooch to Catherine. And here's the twist. When Catherine wore it in March 2023, she wore it without the emerald drop. A subtle change, but a powerful one. She was making it her own. She was stepping out of Diana's shadow and into her own light. But why now? Why this brooch? Palace insiders have whispered that Charles is deliberately reshaping the monarchy's image. He knows Catherine is the future. She is the woman who will one day be queen. And by giving her this brooch, he's sending a clear message. Catherine is the central female figure of this new reign. Not Camilla. It's a quiet revolution. But in the world of royalty, silence speaks louder than words. Let's take a closer look at this brooch. Because trust me, it's not just about diamonds. It's about power. It's about pain. And it's about a family that has been fighting over jewels for centuries. The Prince of Wales' feathers brooch is one of the oldest symbols in British royalty. The 3 ostrich feathers have been associated with the heir to the throne since the 14th century. That's right, the 1300s. We talking hundreds of years of history, war, love, and betrayal all wrapped up in one little piece of jewelry. But the brooch as we know it today became famous in 1981. That's when the Queen Mother gave it to Lady Diana Spencer on her wedding day to Prince Charles. It was a gift of enormous significance. It meant Diana was officially the Princess of Wales. It meant she was the future of the monarchy. And Diana, being Diana, didn't just wear it the way she was told. She made it her own. She had the brooch mounted on a necklace and wore it with a stunning emerald drop. She wore it to the Royal Opera House in London in 1982. She wore it to the ballet. She wore it everywhere. It became her signature piece, a symbol of her unique style and her struggle to be herself within the royal family. Then came the divorce, the pain, the scandal, and finally, the tragedy. When Diana died in 1997, the brooch was returned to the royal family. It went back into the vault. And for years, it stayed there, a reminder of what had been lost. But then, something changed. Camilla began wearing it. She wore it as a brooch, pinned to her coats and dresses. And she always attached that same emerald drop that Diana had once worn. Some people thought it was a tribute, but others saw it differently. They saw it as Camilla laying claim to a piece of Diana's legacy. Then came November 2022. Catherine stepped out during a state visit from South Africa's president. And there it was, the Prince of Wales' feathers brooch, pinned to her coat. The world gasped. It was the first time she had worn it. But here's where it gets really interesting. In March 2023, Catherine wore it again. But this time, the emerald drop was gone. She was wearing the brooch on its own. A subtle change. But in royal circles, nothing is ever subtle. She was telling us, I am the Princess of Wales now. I will honor the past, but I am my own woman. That's the power of this brooch. Let's talk about Camilla. Because make no mistake, this transfer was a loss for her. A big one. When Charles became king, everyone assumed Camilla would have first pick of the royal jewels. After all, she's the queen consort. Tradition says that the wife of the monarch wears the finest diamonds. She represents the crown. She should look the part. But Charles didn't just take one brooch from her collection. He took the brooch, the one with the most history, the one connected to Diana, the one that everyone would notice was missing. Camilla had worn this brooch on multiple occasions. She wore it to public events. She wore it in official photographs. She was photographed wearing it in the gardens of Clarence's house. It was hers. Or at least, she thought it was. Now, royal experts have been quick to point out that the queen consort doesn't actually own the royal jewels. They belong to the crown, or they belong to the monarch personally. So Charles had every right to transfer this brooch to Catherine. But just because he could do it doesn't mean it wasn't a statement. And what a statement it was. By giving the brooch to Catherine, Charles is signaling that she is the priority. She is the future. She is the one who will carry the monarchy forward. Camilla may have the title of queen consort, but Catherine has the power. Some commentators have gone even further. They've suggested that Camilla is being pushed aside. Slowly, quietly, but definitely. Think about it. Camilla has never been as popular as Catherine. She has never had the same public affection. The Diana connection has always hung over her head like a cloud. And now, Charles is choosing Catherine over her. This isn't about money. It's not even about jewelry. It's about legacy. Charles knows that the monarchy needs a fresh face. It needs someone young, glamorous, and beloved. Catherine fits that description perfectly. Camilla, not so much. So yes, Camilla lost this battle. She may have the title, but Catherine has the brooch. And in the world of royalty, that says everything. You can't talk about this brooch without talking about Diana. And I mean, really talking about her. Because Diana is the ghost that haunts every royal decision. She's the shadow that falls over every event. She's the reason this brooch matters at all. Let's go back to 1981. Diana is 20 years old. She's about to marry the heir to the throne. The world is watching. The press is everywhere. And the Queen Mother gives her this brooch. It's a gift of love, but it's also a gift of responsibility.
Nothing changed
Diana
in how
is
they
now
operated.
the Princess of Wales. She has a role to play. She has an image to maintain. And oh, how she maintained it. Diana wore the brooch in ways no one had ever imagined. She took this traditional piece of royal jewelry and made it modern. She wore it as a necklace. She added the emerald drop. She paired it with stunning gowns and dazzling smiles. She was the people's princess, and this brooch was part of her story. She wore it to the Royal Opera House in London in 1982. She wore it to a gala in Toronto in 1991. Every time she wore it, the cameras flashed. The people cheered. She was more than just a princess, she was a superstar. But we all know how that story ended. The divorce, the pain, the interviews, the heartbreak, and finally, the crash in Paris. August 31st, 1997. The world lost Princess Diana, and the royal family lost a piece of its soul. When the brooch was returned to the royal family, it seemed to lose its magic. It was just a piece of jewelry again. No one wore it. No one talked about it. It sat in the vault, gathering dust and memories. Then Camilla wore it, and the world cringed. It felt wrong. It felt like history repeating itself in the worst possible way. But now, Catherine is wearing it. And somehow, it feels right. Catherine is the new Princess of Wales. She's a mother. She's a wife. She's navigating the same palace pressures that Diana once faced. She's carrying the same weight, the same expectations. And just like Diana, she's using fashion to tell her story. When Catherine wore the brooch without the emerald drop, she was making a choice. She was honoring Diana, but she was also stepping into her own light. She was saying, I am not Diana. I am Catherine, and I will write my own story. That's powerful. That's the kind of subtle messaging that makes royal watchers lose their minds. Because it's not about the jewels. It's about the symbolism. And Catherine understands that better than anyone. So what does all of this mean? Why should we care about a brooch? Why does it matter who wears it? I'll tell you why. Because this transfer is about more than just jewelry. It's about power. It's about succession. It's about King Charles carefully reshaping the monarchy for the 21st century. When Charles became king, he inherited a family in transition. Queen Elizabeth had held the throne for 70 years. She was stability. She was continuity. She was the one constant in a changing world. Now, Charles has to chart his own course. And he's doing it with symbolism. By giving Catherine the Prince of Wales' feathers brooch, he's telling the world she is the future. He's signaling that Catherine is the heir's wife, the future queen, and the one who will carry this family forward. He's also subtly reminding everyone that Camilla's role is temporary. She may be queen consort now, but the monarchy's future lies with William and Catherine. That's the truth. And Charles isn't afraid to show it. Think about the timing, too. Charles is in his 70s. He's not a young king. He knows that his reign will be shorter than his mother's. He knows that William and Catherine will take over sooner rather than later. So he's laying the groundwork. He's setting up the future. He's making sure that when he's gone, the monarchy is in safe hands. And Catherine's hands are very safe. She's beloved by the public. She's modern without being radical. She's elegant without being distant. This brooch is just the beginning. I wouldn't be surprised if Charles transfers more pieces to Catherine in the coming months. He's investing in her future and in the future of the institution. It's a bold move, but Charles has never been afraid to make bold moves. He waited 70 years to become king. He's not going to waste a single moment of his reign. And Catherine, she's ready. She's been ready. She just needed the crown's approval. Now she has it. Here's a secret that most people don't understand. Royal jewelry is a language. It's a code. It's a way of communicating without saying a single word. When a royal wears a certain tiara, it's not just fashion. It's a message. When a royal pins a specific brooch to their coat, it's not just decoration. It's a statement. And King Charles is fluent in this language. When he ordered the transfer of the Prince of Wales' feathers brooch, he was sending a message that everyone in palace circles understood. He was saying, Catherine is my chosen successor in terms of public image. She is the one who will carry the legacy of the Princess of Wales title into the future. It was a public rebuke to Camilla. A subtle one, but a rebuke nonetheless. Now, let's be clear, this isn't cruelty. This isn't Charles trying to hurt his wife. This is strategy, pure and simple. Charles knows that Catherine is more popular than Camilla. He knows that the public loves Catherine. He knows that she represents the fresh start the monarchy needs. So he's leaning into that. He's investing in Catherine's image. He's giving her the tools she needs to succeed. And those tools include the brooch. Every time Catherine wears that brooch, she's reminding the public of her position. She's the Princess of Wales. She's the future queen. She's the woman who will one day be crowned alongside William. It's a powerful message. And it's one that Camilla can't compete with. Camilla has the title of queen consort, but she doesn't have the public's heart. Catherine does. And Charles knows that. So he's making a calculated decision. He's choosing the future over the present. He's choosing longevity over tradition. He's choosing Catherine over Camilla. And in the world of royal jewelry, that choice is loud and clear. Catherine has always been a master of style. From the moment she stepped into the public eye, she's used fashion to communicate. Her iconic wedding dress. Her elegant evening gowns. Her polished daytime looks. Every outfit tells a story. Now, with this brooch, she's added a new weapon to her arsenal. The Prince of Wales' feathers brooch is a connection to the past. It's a piece of history. It's a reminder of Diana and the legacy she left behind. But Catherine is making it her own. When she wore it in March 2023, she paired it with a modern outfit, a striking teal coat dress that was both elegant and contemporary. It was a clever way of honoring tradition while moving forward. She wasn't hiding in the past. She was embracing it and making it relevant. And that's the key to Catherine's success. She never tries to be someone she's not. She never tries to compete with Diana's ghost. She simply is herself. And the public loves her for it. This brooch is a symbol of Catherine's transformation. She started as Kate Middleton, the girlfriend of a prince. Then she became the Duchess of Cambridge, the shy royal who always smiled. Now she's the Princess of Wales, the future queen, and a woman of substance and strength. The brooch is a reminder of how far she's come. It's a reminder that she's not just a pretty face. She's a leader. She's a mother. She's a pillar of the royal family. And Charles knows that. He gave her this brooch because he trusts her. He believes in her. He sees her as the future of the monarchy. That's a heavy weight to carry. But Catherine is ready. She's been ready. The question is, what comes next? So, what happens now? Will Charles order more transfers? Will Catherine become the new owner of the late Queen Elizabeth's private collection? What does this mean for Camilla's future role in the royal family? These are the questions that royal watchers are asking. And the answers aren't always clear. For now, the transfer of the Prince of Wales' feathers brooch is a one-time move. But it's opened the door to further speculation. Royal commentators have suggested that Charles may be planning to pass down more pieces to Catherine, giving her the tools she needs to represent the monarchy on the world stage. Imagine Catherine wearing the Lover's Knot tiara, the one Diana loved so much, or the Cambridge Lover's Knot tiara, given to Diana by the Queen. These pieces are the stuff of royal legend, and Catherine could be the one to wear them next. It's not just about the jewelry, though. It's about the role. Catherine is being positioned as the central female figure of the new reign. She's the one who will define the monarchy's image for the next generation. As for Camilla, she remains the queen consort, but her role is becoming increasingly ceremonial. She's still the king's wife, but the power is shifting. Slowly, but surely, the monarchy is moving toward William and Catherine. It's a natural progression. It's the way it should be. But it's still dramatic. It's still emotional. And it's still fascinating to watch. King Charles has made his decision. The brooch belongs to Catherine. And with it, the future belongs to her too. This is a new era for the royal family. And Catherine is leading the way. One diamond at a time.